Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. This time we are going to double up. We have the Medicom Toy Mafex number 122 and number 178 Marvel Avengers Infinity War Captain America and Iron Man Mark 50. I'm doubling these up because Captain America and Iron Man, they go together, right? It fits. They're from the same movie. They're both older figures, so I know it's kind of weird, you know, going back and reviewing these older figures in 2024 from whenever these released. But I've been on a big Mafex kick. And I wanted to check them out. You know, I love the MCU. We haven't been getting a whole lot of Marvel Legends, but there are some Mafex ones out there that I had not gotten, so I'm caught up with quite a few. There's a lot out there that I have not gotten. We'll see which ones I will continue to get. But thanks to Big Bad Toy Store, I now have Captain America and Iron Man to check out for you guys. So make sure to check out BigBadToyStore.com for all your action figure collecting needs, whether it's Mafex, Marvel Legends, SH Figuarts, or anything else aside from Marvel stuff. You can get a bunch of other brands and everything, of course. But these two figures are in stock, so if you're looking to pick them up, links in the video description below. I had taken a look at a few different Captain Americas. We got a couple from the Infinity Saga, Captain America and the Winter Soldier. We had the World War II classic suit, and then we also had the stealth suit. So here now, the Infinity War suit, and then Iron Man Mark 50, jam-packed with an insane amount of accessories. We'll quickly go through everything, but I have a feeling that's going to take a lot of time to kind of get through all of that. So we'll try to do a quick overview of all of it just to kind of see what the accessories are all about and take a quick look at the figures so you guys can see them. So looking at them, you can see Captain America here. We got a couple of different head sculpts that he's got. I think we have two in total. Yep, two in total. We got 4 shield pieces because he has one on each arm, but then like it extends out at some point in battle, right? So we have those 2 different versions. We get the 2 different spears. We have the glaive from Corvus Glaive, and then we got the spear from Proxima Midnight. So it looks like both of those are included, so that's pretty cool. But that is Captain America. Iron Man Mark 50, looking at the back of the box, he's got everything. So basically everything that the Mark 50 suit was able to do in Avengers Infinity War, we have an accessory for it. So you could see here just an insane amount of things. So let's go ahead and get into it and take a look at both Iron Man and Captain America. Thank you everyone who has subscribed. I have passed and reached the 50,000 subscribers before the end of 2024. Truly blessed by all of you. Thank you so much for those of you guys that have been with me from the start of the channel or to the new subscribers today. Thank you all for your support. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Alright guys, so we got the Iron Man figure and the Captain America figures out of the package. And there's so much to this Iron Man. It's unbelievable. A lot of great stuff, but unbelievable. Captain America is not nearly as bad. So let's do a run through of the accessories while we're here. So we got Proxima Midnight Spear, and this looks pretty good. It's got this nice like titanium, like gunmetal blue. Like I can't describe it. It's like slate color. Looks really good. With a little bit of bright blue there. Not sure what that is all about, but that's how that looks. Let's get them out of the way so they don't constantly keep trying to get in focus. And then we have the glaive. I think this is called the glaive. This is from Corvus Glaive. Why his name would be that, and then his weapon would be called the glaive. That's kind of weird, right? But we have that here. So nice blue, like shiny, like dark metallic blue, and then a lot of gold on there. Sculpt wise, looks pretty good. It's pretty thin. It's fairly pliable, but I would be very careful with it. We have that there. We get the 2 small shield pieces. So this is kind of before he's prepared and ready for battle. You got the shield pieces that can go on his arms, and then you can have a grip with his hands there. And then we also get 2 of the larger ones. So the ones that are a little bit more battle ready, as you can see there. So it just kind of extends out, like this back portion kind of pulls out, and then the front portion like extends out. There, I already have one on his arm, as you can see there, so we get those shield pieces. And then in terms of hands for Captain America, we get 5 extra sets of hands. He's got fists on him already, and then he's got a couple of grip hands there, and then we got trigger finger hands there, then kind of open hands, wide open hands, and finger pointing hands. So that's how we have all 5 pairs there. And then we get the additional head sculpt. When we get in for a closer look, we'll look at those different head sculpts. Iron Man. Iron Man's loaded with stuff. So a couple of things that happened in the movie. So he had to brace his feet down, right? So you have the large feet pieces to secure him down to the ground. You get those there. You get this replacement back piece when he's like flying, and then he's got the weapons going and things like that. So you'll be able to change out that back piece. I will show that a little bit later. We get the 4 flying pieces, as you can see here. We get the 2 larger ones. Those are upside down. 2 larger ones, 2 smaller ones. You do get stand pieces for each of these, which is pretty cool. The nice thing about it is they did this silver in here with this little bit of like metallic light blue paint in there to kind of show that light look that we had in the movie. And then you got these little blasts there, the repulsor blasts, I guess it would be, because those are like floating in the air kind of thing. And then there's the peg hole on there so you can have the stand for each one of them. So that is pretty cool. Nice deep red, really nice looking. I don't think I'm going to set it all up and everything like that. Otherwise this video will be like 2 hours long trying to get all that going. But it's awesome that we get all 4 pieces so you could be able to do that. You get when the spaceship is going up and Peter's on it and Iron Man needs to hurry up and go faster to get up there, his feet come together and get this like rocket like like piece. Sorry, had to focus in. His legs kind of turn into this crazy fast rocket. So we have that there, so you could pop out the lower legs and then put this on, and he's blasting away. So that is really cool there. We get the battering ram hands there. So that is pretty cool. It looks like, you take these little plastic pieces out and then you're going to port the wrists on there. So you got the 2 battering ram pieces. We get the 2 different shields. So he's got the large shield there. And as you can see, this thing is quite large, where it's literally the height of the figure completely. So very, very large. And then we also get the round shield as I try to pick it up. And this looks really good there. Nice red, gold, and silver in there. So that is nice. A couple of sword pieces. We've got this blade here. This is kind of the shorter blade where it's just his hand. It just extends out of his hand there. We get the longer blade there, which is cool. And then you get this energy type effect blade that he had where he actually just grips this. So you got those 3 different blade pieces there. We get some repulsor blast effects, so you have 4 different ones. So you got the 2 longer ones, and then you get 2 shorter ones here. The longer ones have pegs, so you can peg them into the hands and things like that. These shorter ones actually have peg holes, so you're going to have to peg these into things. I'm trying to see which accessories actually would that work with. That's kind of interesting. So these ones got peg holes, but I don't see... Okay, so these hands there have pegs in them, so you can actually just peg these on, and then those are the blast effects for his hands. The larger ones would then be for his feet, so that is really cool there. Speaking of hands, while we're at it, we've got those hands where they're open, so you can have the blast effect. There you can see the pegs right in the middle of the palm. We just get these open hands here. We also have grip hands here. Then we got the wide open hands here. And it looks like we got some other hands where you have these large pegs on the back of the fists. And this is likely going to be to use with like the shields. As you can see, there's a large peg hole in there. So you could peg a hand in there, and that's how you can actually use the shield. Both the circular round shield as well as the large full body shield, as you can see there. So you would just port the back of the hand in there like so to secure it. We're not even done yet. We still got a few more pieces here. So you get those blaster effect pieces. So these will pop onto his hands where he kind of changes over, and then he can use these blaster hands. These are going to be kind of in conjunction when you have these set up here, I believe. As he's in the streets up against Ebony Maw and what's his name? Cole Obsidian in the street. So his hands will turn into those blasters there. Nice blue color in there to kind of make it look like it's shining through. We get these blast ones. I feel like these are the ones that he used against Drax. So when the Guardians came and found them inside the Thanos' ship, or Ebony Maw's ship on Titan, when Iron Man, threatens Drax he's like, shoot my guy, I'll shoot yours or whatever. I thought these are the hands, so I don't know why he would necessarily have two of them, but we've got two of them there. And then we've got these ones. Oh, these ones are actually, I think, going to be more so the ones in that scene on the street, because you can actually see the fists as part of those blasts. So I think these are the ones that would actually be on the street, and then these ones he must have used on Titan. So we get two of these, and then we have one here. So this one, the arm, you're going to swap out the arm, and then this one just kind of has this cannon out the side of his arm. I don't recall exactly when this would have been in the movie, but it is the only single one piece there. So I'd have to look, and I wonder if this could be like maybe when, to get rid of Ebony Maw, they blast the side of the ship and Ebony Maw flies out. Maybe he used the cannon style piece then. I'm not really sure. But those are all the accessories for Iron Man, which is just kind of, again, insane. So let's go ahead now and get in for a closer look at both Iron Man Mark 50 and Captain America. Okay, so here's an up-close look at the Iron Man. Very good. I wish we would have gotten an RDJ head sculpt. We did not on this one. I do have one from the Avengers Endgame release, the battle-damaged one. But this one does not come with one, unfortunately. But the suit itself looks great. I love the deep metallic red that we have on here, the silvers and gold, really nice. And there's a couple of spots with like light blue where you can see like the arc reactor is powered up and everything. But just looks really good. The ankles are a bit weird though, and I'll talk about that in the articulation section. But the figure itself just looks so nice. I love the red and gold that we have going on here. So very, very nice. Looking at Captain America. Captain America, this is one where Mafex they do better now. They didn't always do so hot when it came to actor likenesses. And then so like for Chris Evans, even the newer Infinity Saga Winter Soldier ones are okay. They're not the best Chris Evans likeness. I could see it. I think they're a little bit better than this. Like if I look at the side profile to Chris Evans to this, I could see Chris Evans. But if I look at it straight on, I'm like, oh nah, I'm not seeing it. But again, side profile, I see it there. So it's kind of weird. So we get two head sculpts. We have this one here, more kind of straight-faced, stoic look. And then here we have a little bit more of an angry, gritted teeth look. And then we have that there. And again, I could see the Chris Evans likeness from a side profile straight on, not as much. I do think this one does look better than the other one, but still it is not perfect. Mafex, it has improved tremendously from these times, but they're still not perfect. And I think that's the biggest downfall to Mafex is their human actor likenesses. The head sculpts are just not the greatest. Like Tom Holland, they can't seem to really nail down. But then like Robert Downey Jr. came out looking pretty good. The Gwyneth Paltrow one looked pretty good. The Brie Larson Captain Marvel looked pretty good. Tom Hiddleston Loki, pretty good. None of them are perfect, but I think they are pretty good. But anyway, enough of that. Looking at the rest of the figure, we get the Infinity War look, so that is really good. This one does have the weird boot cover thing that the stealth suit Captain America had, and this one isn't as bad though, where you could at least get the feet straight so he can stand up. The Winter Soldier one had a little bit of issues, depending on your copy of the figure, if he had issues standing or not. But these ones are, definitely work out a whole hell of a lot better. Just looking at the suit, just kind of a dark blue kind of throughout. The red, white, and blue, or the red and white stripes, are very dark, muted colors. There looks really good. The cool thing about it here, we do see the little scratched up portions of his suit where the vibranium it has been exposed there, so that looks really good. So I really like it there. One awesome thing that this figure does have is it has bicep swivels. The newer Captain America figures didn't do bicep swivels for some reason. This one has it, so that makes it a whole hell of a lot better. So that is the close-up look at Captain America and Iron Man. Let's go ahead and check out both of their articulations. Okay, so looking at the articulation for Captain America, unfortunately he can't look all the way up, or he can't look up too much. He can look down all the way, and you can get some head pivot in there, rotation at the head, and then as well as the neck, as the neck is a separate piece. You can get his arm to go up and out that much there. You get a full rotation in that arm. You get a butterfly joint in there, which allows his arm to go back quite a bit. crossbody there, but unfortunately I popped that out as you have like this strap, these shoulder straps there. That does hinder trying to get a little bit of that crossbody in the front, unfortunately. You can drop the shoulder down a little bit, you can move it up there. You have the bicep swivel in there, which is great. Double jointed elbow gives you that much bend there. Wrists swivel and hinge, they are on a ball joint hinge, so you can swivel and hinge them any which way you need to. We have a diaphragm cut on Captain America and a ball joint waist. So using both together, you can get Cap to tilt to his left that much there. You can get Cap to tilt to his right that much there, which is pretty insane. You get a swivel at that waist, and then you can also swivel at the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a little bit too large in my opinion. You can look at that. You can even shift around side by side. It should be a little bit tighter up in there to kind of fill in the proportions a little bit better. And I think Mafex has also gotten better at doing that. Like the Far From Home Spider-Man, I felt had that problem, and then they fixed it with the No Way Home version. So that's something where I think, was a little bit unfortunate there. Having that, though, you do get some better range of motion, so you can crunch forward that much there, and then you can go back an insane amount, but we do get some crazy gaps in there. The belt piece kind of floats, so you can kind of fill in the gap there at the waist there, but still pretty good articulation. We got the drop down hip, so you could drop the hip down a little bit there. As you can see, you can get the legs to go out that far apart. You can kick forward that far. You can go back a little bit of ways, which is good too. You get a little bit of a swivel in that thigh, not a huge amount, but you do get some. Double jointed knee gives you that much bend there, which is nice. You do get a little bit of a swivel. I don't know, you can't really swivel all the way around, but you get enough turn in there of anything that you'll need to do, which is good. The ankle, unfortunately, the boot cover really gets in the way of that, so you can hinge down tiny bit, like almost nothing. Hinge up, basically nothing, but you do get toe articulation in there, and then ankle pivot doesn't really work because the boot covers in there, unfortunately, but still moves pretty good. The arms is kind of the biggest thing, is the fact that we get bicep swivels on this guy versus the Winter Soldier, Captain America and the Winter Soldier versions did not have bicep swivels for some reason. Moving on into Iron Man. Iron Man's gonna have kind of basically the same points of articulation there. His head and neck, you can get that to look up. Let's see, let's just move the head. So just the head, unfortunately, isn't going to look up a huge amount, so you can get the neck going that much there, but you get a really ugly gap in that neck. Like, ugh. I don't know why they did it that way. That's not great. So you can do it to where there's minimal gaps, so that kind of works out. So it's just if you move it all the way up, that's kind of what you see there. You can swivel on the head, and then you can swivel at the neck as well. You get some good pivot going on with just the head, and you can also do it with the neck. The shoulder, you can get the shoulder to go out that much there. You can get a full rotation in there. That shoulder pad does move with the shoulder, so that is good, and you can kind of open it up a little bit there. There is somewhat of a bicep swivel, as you can see, not bicep swivel, butterfly joint, as you can see there, but it allows you to come forward more than anything, which will give you some crossbody, as you can see there. So that is actually really good, but it doesn't actually go back. It's just to get you to come forward with it, which is quite nice. You got an upper bicep swivel in there. You got a double jointed elbow like so. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge. The same thing. It's a ball joint wrist, so you could swivel and hinge whichever way you really need to get them to move. We got a diaphragm cut on here that is pretty limited in motion. As you can see, you can't really tilt either way. You can come forward a little bit, and you can go back on it a little bit there, but we just really have to use the ball joint waist. So to get Iron Man, you can get him to tilt to his left that much there, and you can see a little bit of gap at that waist, unfortunately. You can tilt to the right there, which is quite a bit, as you can see there. Leaning back, you can go back so far. You can go back that much there, which is good, and then coming forward is only so much there, but it's a giant metal suit. Iron Man shouldn't be able to move around too insane. You get a swivel at that waist. You can't really swivel at the diaphragm. You get a drop down hip in there, so you can drop down a little bit there. In doing so, you can get the leg to go out that far apart, kick forward very high, which is great, and then go back quite a ways. You do get a little bit of a swivel in there with the thigh, not a full swivel, but you get enough turn in there for anything that you would need to do. Double jointed knee like so, which is good. And then this ankle, and I had mentioned this earlier, and I'm going to zoom in on the ankle because it's a bit weird, like I said. like the foot, as you can see there, just kind of looks good, but you kind of have this drop down feature on the ankle, which will then allow you to do some pivot and then hinge down, but you can't really hinge up, unfortunately. And then the pivot is kind of weird, but you can do it. But when you want to stand him straight, like, and you put the foot there, it's like it doesn't pivot as well. Maybe it's just an issue I had with the right. This one, the left seemed to move a little bit more. Whoops, I just kind of popped the foot off. So that's just kind of the thing. Let me put that foot back on. You know, these Mafex pieces come apart, but then you can pop them right back on pretty nicely. That's a heavy foot. I wonder if there's some die cast in there. I may have to take this one off. Nope, there we go. So yeah, so drop down on the ankle, which allows the pivot, and then you don't really... You can turn it a little bit, I guess. That's more the pivot. But you do have toe articulation in there as well. So that is the articulation for Iron Man, which is, again, really, really good. Okay, looking at the side-by-side comparisons here, we have the Iron Man Mark 50 and Captain America right next to each other, and you can see Captain America, I think, is a little oversized, or maybe Iron Man is undersized, depending on how you want to go with it. But I think, you know, height-wise, they should probably be similar. I believe Captain America's end up being a little bit taller and just significantly bulkier than Iron Man would be. Now, with the nanotech, obviously, it would be a little bit more form-fitting, but I think, you know, size-wise, Iron Man should be the bulk size of Captain America. Maybe Captain America would be this size, or however you want to do it. So either Captain America's a little too big, Iron Man's just a little bit too small, or the other way around, I guess. No. Would that be right? Yeah. Yeah, we'll go with it. Yeah. Well, I absolutely love Marvel Legends. They are my favorite action figure line. They just don't compare to Mafex. Mafex figures, I would say 90% of the time, are going to be much better action figures than Marvel Legends. At the same time, they're going to be significantly pricier than Marvel Legends figures. And especially Captain America and Iron Man. Iron Man, obviously, he's a lot more expensive because he comes with an insane amount of accessories. Captain America is a little bit pricier too. Not as many accessories, but he does come with a little bit more than what we had with, like, the Infinity Saga releases from Captain America and the Winter Soldier. He definitely comes with more accessories. So he's a little bit pricier also. So, you know, depending on what your collection needs, what your budget is, and how you kind of go about it there. Mafex figures are definitely going to be better. That's not to say that Marvel Legends are terrible figures by any means, but they're just not going to be as detailed color-wise. You can see a big difference, like, in the colors of them. Mafex is just easily going to win, you know, pretty much every time. Okay, so we're going to swap out some of the parts for Iron Man. This is actually the one he used up against Drax. He's like, shoot my guy and I'll blast yours. And then when he punched Thanos and stuff, this is the hand or weapon that he used. So that's to clear that up. That's what we got there. Okay, so swapping out some of these parts just to kind of see what you know, parts come apart and things like that. So the battering ram portions, you actually pull it off at the forearm. So you can just take that forearm piece off. And then you got to get these little plug pieces out of there, which were a little bit trickier than I felt like they needed to be. But then you can port these battering ram pieces in there at the arm, so you have him going there. Now, when he did this, he also had to use these leg pieces to brace himself down and really anchor him to the ground, which they do with actual, like, battering rams. So I don't know if there's a particular right or left to these. I can't really tell. They might be the exact same. I can't really tell, but we're gonna try it out. So they should pull apart. That piece went flying and probably missing now. So it pulls apart right at the lower leg. As you can see there, it just pulls off very easily. And then we're just gonna port that right on in there, like so. Let's get that one, take that off, pull that plug piece out, and then stick this leg in there, and then bam, so then you can have his legs kind of out apart, and then you can anchor those down, and then he can use the battering ram there. I guess I probably had one forward, one back. Let's see if we can get that to really make sense there. Yeah, there we go. That's kind of the best that I could do now. Just, quickly trying to show you guys that, these have the different points of articulation to help anchor it down. Let's see. Maybe if you use different heights. No. Like, he used both at the same time, and I guess maybe it just doesn't... It's not as flush as you would kind of hope it to be, maybe? Oh, okay, so these side pieces adjust a little bit so then you can move it and anchor it down as needed there, so it doesn't need to be... Okay, so that'll help with it there. So there we go in his fight against Thanos. Obviously, I didn't pose it out super well, but that's kind of the idea there. Okay, so while we're working on the legs, we're going to pull these off there for his lower legs. Let's go ahead and get that rocket blast piece here, and this is going to be the piece for when he has to fly very quickly. So we're just going to put... Oh, we got to make sure to get the legs together. And then you got to do them at the same time. Boom. So you have it there. So Iron Man, he's flying up to Thanos' ship there. That is cool. I really like it. We actually got this piece. One thing that, other figure companies, Marvel Legends, we had some of these accessories. We did not have them all. And then 3-0, the DLX figure, had a lot of these accessories as well, but definitely did not have this piece here to where you can actually get the legs together and do that rocket blast so he's flying off. This is probably the coolest piece in here out of all these really cool pieces. I think this one is the most unique because no other toy company did that. Unless SH Figuarts did. I'm not real familiar with SH Figuarts and what accessories they released, but for me, this is the first that I've seen of it, and I just really like it. I think it's awesome that we got it. Very cool. Okay, we also have this replacement back piece. So let's see, to get this back piece off, you just have to get your fingernail under there, pry it off. Nice silver color in there, and then you can put this piece in there. And then this one was just kind of when Iron Man was flying around, it's just, I guess, extra boost to kind of fly. This is like in his fight against Thanos on Titan, that's when you see this. It's brief, very, very brief that, you see it come out. So we have that there, and that's cool. Just be very careful with these other pieces here. These things can break off, so you want to be careful with them. And then basically all the other arm pieces, they're going to do right at the forearm, so you can just, pull that forearm off, and then that's where you're going to port them on into the figure, like so. I've still not quite figured out what this piece, when he used this in the movie. Maybe it was at the beginning. I'd have to go back and look, maybe in New York. I don't think he used it on Titan. I don't think he used it in the ship on the way to Titan. So it must have been early in that point there. So you have it there. So I guess you could kind of do that. But again, I just don't really recall him using this. But you guys let me know. But the way that one works is you have to put a hand on it, and then it swaps out at the forearm as well. And then to show you guys the shield portion there, as you can see, when you have that hand on there that has that peg version on there, you can put the shield on there. And then it holds it quite nicely, as you can see there. It is a little stiff, so when you need to turn it, chances are you're going to end up just pulling it, and the hand's going to stay there. So just a heads up on that. But yeah, that's how we put the shields on there with the hands. And that looks pretty good there. This one he used during the battle at New York in that park, though. That I remember first. Yeah, I think that's where he does it. So there we go. Okay, so that is my review of the Avengers Infinity War Mafex figures of the Iron Man Mark 50 suit and the Captain America figure. You guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of these figures? They are both in stock right now at Big Bad Toy Store if you're looking to add them into your collection. Highly recommend Mafex figures if you haven't had any experience with them. Yes, they are pricey, but man, they are so worth it because the articulation is great, accessories are pretty good, and they just look better overall. They just have a much cleaner look, if that makes sense. So these two figures, very awesome. The accessories on the Iron Man are just insane. Like if you go like the 3-0 DLX figures, you got to buy two things. You got to buy the figure, you got to buy the accessory pack to kind of get all the same stuff, except you don't get you know, the booster rocket like leg piece. So that is pretty awesome there. So I really like that Mafex got it. The metallic red on him just looks absolutely incredible. So Mafex just absolutely killed it on Iron Man. This Captain America, I like him more than I like the Captain America and the Winter Soldier figures. Those ones look good. Sure, but they don't have the bicep swivel, so this one is much more functional. It's not a traditional Captain America. We don't get the red, white, and blue shield, the round shield, but we get the Wakandan shields, so that is pretty cool. You guys give me your thoughts on these two figures down in the comments below. But again, in stock right now at Big Bad Toy Store. Links in the video description below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.